Hello, everyone. Happy blessed new moon, everyone. Today is the new moon and Pluto went direct. Are you feeling it? I'm feeling it. It's a very big deal. Pluto going direct. This is like a, well, I think we'll be feeling it we already probably were feeling it starting around October 1st. We'll feel the intensity of it, maybe even 5 days from now, October 11th or so. Because whenever planets station to go a new direction, it's called the stationary period. And we can really feel that shift, especially with Pluto. We can notice what's going on around for us in our world, right? And when it's Pluto, it can really be exposing some of our unconscious stuff, right? So some of our fears, maybe our wounds, and it gives us the opportunity to create a new cycle or a new relationship, the way we want to relate to those fears or wounds or secrets or whatever it is that's Plutonian, that's been in the unconscious, right? So this is a big new moon with Pluto going direct and Mars is conjunct the new moon. And interestingly, Venus is in Scorpio. It's at 28 degrees, 53 minutes. And so it's almost at that anaretic degree. Anaretic, what do I mean by that? Anaretic is the last degree of a sign. It's 29 degrees because there's 30 degrees in a sign. And so Venus is at almost 29 degrees, the anaretic degree. And the anaretic degree is really kind of it's a culminating of that sign, right? So it's really going to bring up any residual things that need to come up in order to really be in completion with that exploration of that sign, right? And it's Venus. Venus is the ruler of this new moon. It rules or guides Libra. So it is the ruler. Now check this out. Venus is at the south, very, very close to the south node of the moon. Now it's out of the sign, it's in Scorpio, but the south node of the moon is in Sagittarius, and it's right now at 4 degrees. So I would say it's close enough to really say that Venus is conjunct the south node of the moon. And I really feel like with Pluto going direct, the fact that Venus is in Pluto's sign, this is really interesting. And Venus is the ruler of the new moon. So this can really be, I really believe, this can be really getting to the bottom of our own personal truth and how we relate to ourselves and how we relate to others and what the bottom line is in regards to the truth of our relationships right now and how we're relating and how others are relating to us and what are our values in regards to that, right? And the sun and the moon are actually in the same degree as Mars. Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio. So Mars is really close to this moon. And remember, Mars makes conscious what is unconscious, right? It works on behalf of the unconscious. It's our instincts. And so I just want to say hi, Joy. It's great to see you. So Mars is actually acting from instinct based on our unconscious desires of the soul, right? So Mars is conjunct. It's also conjunct Lucifer. The asteroid Lucifer is conjunct Mars and conjunct this new moon. So therefore the moon and the sun. So, if you don't know about Lucifer, I'm really referring to Lucifer as it relates to its relationship to Venus. And if you don't know about that, I put some links in one of my posts recently about Lucifer. And so you can go to my page and look at, here on Facebook and look at that description of Lucifer, because it is different than the name Lucifer in regards to Christianity and the way that Christianity is used that name. So I don't want people to be confused, and so feel free to look that up. But ultimately it will show where we could get tripped up in acting on our own behalf in regards to relating. Because Mars, okay, so Mars is in Libra, and Mars in Libra, this is an interesting energy to navigate because Mars guides Aries, right? And it acts on instinct, which is our Aries nature. We are wired to act on our own behalf. And of course, this is natural because this is actually ensures survival for each person, right? We're going to act on our own behalf and make sure that we're really we're meeting our own needs first. Now, when we get to Libra, we have to recognize that it's not just about us, right? It's about others as well. And so when Mars is in Libra, it can get kind of like, well, I'm acting on my own behalf, but I gotta like weigh another person or another situation outside of me. I gotta weigh on that, and really how do I act on behalf of not only my desires but the desires of and needs of those in the outside world, right? And it can bring, I mean, Libra in itself can bring indecisiveness, because it gets kind of a little bit flooded, right? With like not just acting on our own behalf in our relationship to ourselves, but also in relationship to others. So with Lucifer conjunct this, I think that it can be this part of us that are really trying to navigate acting on our own behalf, our own needs, our own values, and balancing that with the needs and values and desires of others, right? So this new moon cycle, just remember all the new moons have a cycle to them, right? So this cycle will actually really be fruitioning or come to fruition at the Libra full moon, which is on April 16th of 2022. So however it is that you're navigating this particular new moon and taking action on behalf of your own desires and your desires in your relationships, and first of all, of course, your desire to your in relationship to yourself, right? This will be planting the seeds that will fruition in April of 2022. And so with Mars being conjunct that sun and the moon, I really think that it really is about taking action on behalf of your desires. And this is for all of us, right? So we want to be taking action. This is a form of prayer. The actions that we take is a form of prayer. And so I really see that in this new moon, that we can take action in regards to that which we want to create in the world, not just for ourselves, of course, for ourselves and our own evolutionary path, yes, but also in relationship to others, how we want to be relating. And I think it's possible this could make changes in our relationships, because Venus is the ruler of the new moon, and it is coming to close conjunction to the south node of the moon. So I don't know about you, I've really been feeling this Pluto direct. It's been definitely helping me to see some of the stuff that comes from my personal past in regards to Plutonian themes. I really think that this can be coming up for everyone, which is a gift. So I do want to say that whatever's coming up for you, recognizing that we are in Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde, I believe, is such a great time to rewire the synapses in our brain and to actually revisit things and actually rewire our habits and how we perceive them, as well as how we act on them. So this is a really great time to notice what's coming up as Pluto's direct, and also, help us to actually yes, revisit maybe some things that have been in the unconscious and revisit some things in the way in which we've related, but also giving the opportunity to rewire the ways in which we perceive those things as well as act on them. So I'm going to read this comment. Oneness is and separation is an illusion, and we each choose our path. Yes. Yes. And Jeff, that, Libra's the archetype of reflection and the mirror. So, this can be bringing up this piece that we are ultimately energy that's embodied different bodies, and we relate to each other, but we're ultimately coming from the same source of energy. So in the ultimate, yes, it is oneness, and yet we all have our own evolutionary function that we're contributing to that oneness. And so, recognizing that those reflections from our relationships give us the opportunity to really reflect on our own values, the yin, the side or yin form of Venus, right? Our own values, and really assessing what we value and how we want to relate to others in regards to what we value. So the reflections that can be coming can be just reflecting back to us adjustments we may want to make in regards to our own values or what we value, or, also recognizing, well, okay, I say I have these values, but have I been acting on those values? Because the reflection from the outer world will show you what you've actually been valuing through your action, not necessarily through what you say you value. And it's not to say, and I don't mean to say that our thoughts and our speech are not powerful, because they absolutely are. But we also have to act on those values, or act on that which we say and think, and we do that repeatedly. And so that gets reflected back to us so that we can know ourselves and really look at, okay, so am I actually doing what I am saying, and is there an adjustment that needs to be made there, so it's really all so that we can really be in complete alignment with our desires. And sometimes that is a rewiring. It's in order to evolve, we have to actually be congruent with our thoughts, our speech, and our actions. And there's adjustments that have to be made there because we've had habits in the past. And this is what Mercury retrograde, I really feel, gives us the opportunity to reassess and change habits. They're just habits. It became automatic pilot, right? When we set that into motion, we went in, kept in motion, right? Mercury retrograde can help us actually go back and go, okay, I want to make an adjustment here and actually change. And so we have to go through this process of really realignment, right? Of our thoughts, how we're thinking, how we're speaking, how we're walking, how we're actually taking action. So I really feel this Mercury retrograde during this new moon is great. And remembering that Libra, the biggest lesson for Libra is to remember that although it appears that we're separated or separate beings, we're also one. We are all one big organism. And I do believe, we're just providing different functions of one big organism, which is the divine, right? So that's my life for today. I hope everyone's having a happy happy new moon and a blessed new moon. It's a great time for prayer, and however that resonates for you. And so happy new moon, everyone. Thanks for hopping on, Joy and Jeff. I can't tell if anyone else is on, but if you are, thank you for hopping on. It's always fun to see that there's people on. And thank you for commenting. And happy new moon to you. And as you know, if you've been following me, I will be back tomorrow.